Dear Kenyans, I come to you extremely sad, as a Kenyan living and working in Nigeria, as a Niger wife and as a mother of 3 boys who are half Nigerian, So I come to you as a sister, as a Kenyan, as a mother and a wife, as a Kenyan of good standing, who is affiliated to Nigeria in marriage and also professionally, and as a mother of 3 Kenyan-Nigerian boys. So please listen to me. Above everything, I come to you in great humility and in love. So I hope that as you listen to me objectively. And I'm also being extremely objective as I do this video. There's one thing, there's mistakes, and I keep saying this, that there's mistakes you do, by omission and commission, right? It is wrong for one to say something wrong and not say it. In Kikuyu, where the tribe that I come from in Kenya, we say "Gotire moishi na moshodhiriria." That means that there is no, if you steal and you're watching out for the thief, you're also as bad as a thief, right? Or if you see someone stealing and say nothing, then you're as bad as a thief. There's also, a section of crime that convicts someone for aiding and abetting, right? So when you see evil and say nothing, then you're as bad as the person committing that evil, So Giuliani once said that sitasimama maovu yakitawala, like I will not stand by and see evil prevail, right? And we are very big on talking. What I love is the Kenyan voice. We are very good, and we are very privileged to live in a country where we can exercise our democratic voice to speak out. We even call out our president, we call out systems that we've been able to create change, or effect change by our voice. So this is what I am doing, and especially as somebody who has worked in the social justice space and who has worked on policies that have affected and affected not only Kenyans' lives but Africans' lives in a positive way, right? So please hear me out, other than the personal beat. And because I've been hearing things over and over and over, and maybe because of this platform, many people have reached out to me from all over, I've gotten so many DMs on my Facebook and on my Instagram, about what about this Kenyan Nigerian situation, especially whatever is happening. There's so much bad things that are happening in Kenya, to Nigerians who are living in Kenya, and I've had things on and off. I'm not very big on social media. I don't spend too much time on social media, but I just looked through and I was extremely sad, and it really broke my heart. About 2 weeks ago, there was a story that was trending in some apartments in the river, Great Wall. I mean, it's out in the public, so I can name names, right? And it was so bad that I think a Nigerian person, or the last I checked, he was in a coma, and he was thoroughly, assaulted, right? I don't know the story on and through and through, as in what really transpired. But what I kept hearing is that Nigerians are being terrorized, whether they live in Kilimani, whether they live in Athi River, in Donholm, in Ruaka, where there's an influx of them, they are being terrorized. It was so bad that someone wrote to me and said that her husband, she's just put to bed, so she's a bit, her husband cannot even go to the supermarket in peace. Apparently, the husband was going to Quickmart in Ruaka. I'm not very familiar with the area, and it's apparently a stone's throw from her house, and the husband was arrested, and he was accompanied by men who said they were police. I say who said they were police, allegedly, because they can't verify, and he had to come back home and give the money that they had. I think about 100,000. That's 90-something thousand. 100,000, which is like 900 and something dollars as at now. And it was so bad because you don't keep that money because you want to walk out of the house and give somebody for the sake of your life, that money was there for a reason and a purpose, but they lost that money that way. And she told me that since then the husband is holed up in the house and he doesn't want to go out anymore because he's afraid. And she told me that this was not an isolated case, that is the plight of many Nigerians that live in that area, that they're afraid of going out to buy food, they're afraid of just living their lives, of going out, and they're staying together. Now, people say that Nigerians love to stay, a lot of them in the house, but this is the reason why. If a Nigerian lives by themselves, how safe are they, or how safe do they feel? You know, so if you see Nigerians, other than that, they are communal people, and you know, and they help each other. For example, if somebody is coming into the country, they'll house the person, whether it's for a year, two, whatever. Nigerians are like that, and they are good, and they are generous in that regard. Or whether it's for cost-cutting measures, for whatever reason. But mostly they are now having to bundle together because of security reasons, you know, because that's the family that they have. And at that point, it doesn't matter whether you're real family in terms of, you know, blood relation. Nigerians are just there for each other. Now, people are saying, oh, you know, we have to get rid of them because they are doing, you know, illegal things, or they are doing not so good stuff. And that is where you as a citizen can go and report to the police and say, house 2A in this apartment, they are doing, you know, all those things that they are being accused of, you know. Go and report them. And if for whatever reason you have any evidence, go with your evidence. They'll be prosecuted. And I hope that they can even be, what's it called, extradited back to the country. You know, they can be deported, you know, because law breaking is law breaking, regardless of wherever you are in the world. So this thing of taking matters into our own hands is not really good. Now, if for whatever reason you've gone for a date and the person has been unfair to you, or maybe there have been allegations of, you know, assault, sexual assault, please go and report immediately. Go to Nairobi Women's, you know, get your, you know, get checked, let there be a report, follow due process, you know, but don't sit there and say, 3 weeks ago I was raped by this person. By then there's no evidence, you know, even physical evidence. And I'm not even saying this is just logical, this is scientific, you know. Follow due process. Yes, I know there are some people who are doing shady business and who are not so good, but there are also people of great standing. The Nigerians that I know that are in Kenya, the ones that I'm privileged to know, are, you know, there because of, you know, they work in international organizations, and they're not small boys and small girls, you know. These are people of great repute that could go anywhere in the world and prosper, you know. We have doctors, you know, we have people in development, working in NGOs, you know, we have, I mean, there are all sorts of great people, right? But I know there's also those other ones, especially the people who say, you know, who say that those ones that live maybe somewhere along the road that are up to no good, and maybe they are not doing good business. Please report them, you know. On the other hand, there's also a systemic issue, because maybe at their point of entry, what were their visa, you know, what kind of visa do they have and have they overstayed? And also for Nigerians, I'll say, if you are in Kenya and you know you're in good standing, please go to your embassy, let them register you, you know. If you have any kind of crisis, have an emergency number, dial it. That's why the embassy is there is there. There's no other reason why an embassy is there. They're the country representative. They are like the president. The ambassador is the president of Nigeria. I mean, they are representing the country. So go there, identify yourself and register yourself. And this is the call to the Nigerian High Commission. Please check after your people. I don't understand why this thing keeps repeating and it's getting worse and getting worse and getting worse, you know. Please, the Nigerian High Commission needs to sit up and take care of their people. They are the representatives. They've been sent there on Nigerian taxpayers' money to take care of their own. Do something about it. And as for you Nigerians, if you're in good standing, please go and report. You know, you might say it won't get anywhere, or the system is corrupt. Let me tell you, out of 100 cops, there might be 2 good ones. You go and say, I have an OB on this day. I was harassed, you know, by someone alleging to be from this police station or from this organization. Just have your OB. Stand in the right side of the law. Stand on the right side of the law, you know. Don't take matters in your own hands, you know. And as for Kenyans, and especially if for example, in those apartments, Great Wall apartments, when there was that alleged mishandling, I was hearing that even the watchmen were having to collect some kind of fee or having to check someone's visa. I'm sorry to say, I'm not looking down on anybody, but what does a watchman have to do with anyone's visa? You know, how did we get to that place? And I'll blame also my Nigerian in-laws that by the time it got there, why didn't you do something and report if it had been going on and on and on, that anytime you go anywhere, you know, is it that Nigerians are viewed as walking ATMs, that even the watchman wants to collect his own, whether it's 1,000 or 500 bob, you know? It is wrong. A few days ago, I heard that there's one guy that threw himself, from a building and fell down because he had mental health issues. I don't know why, and I'm not getting into it. The issue I have is that there are people who lived in that apartment block, and nobody called 911 or the police. It is alleged that the first responded was getting there almost 1 hour later. And this is somebody who might have been saved if somebody had even volunteered to carry the person to hospital. Is it because they are Nigerian that they were left on the ground for that long? Is that why? And if so, it saddens me, because a human life is a human life regardless of the race. When you're a human being, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you should be treated as such with dignity. So we might have lost that life because somebody did not call, or somebody did not quickly carry that person to the nearest hospital. And it's such a pity, and it's such a shame, that just because somebody is not from your country, you cannot do some things or go, out on a limb for them, just because, they are Nigerian or from another country. So Kenyans, please stop doing this, President Uhuru opened up our country when he was in China. I remember there was a time in one of his speeches, one of those public holidays, and he said, he's opened the borders for Africans, come over, do business if you can, and all that. And maybe that's why there's an influx of Nigerians into the country, because Kenya is a great country. Our infrastructure is great. We have great lighting. We have great internet, and they can do their business. Whether legal or illegal, they can do it. Let's call it what it is. So it is the president that opened it up. If you look at what President Ruto is doing, he's talking about one Africa all the time, where we can, and this is good stuff. You may have your feelings about Ruto, and maybe he's not doing things right on ground, but there's conversations about Africans for Africans and what we can do for each other. How is it that when we're in the West we are great friends, but when we're in Africa, we treat each other as enemies? That's not correct. Please, Kenyans, you need to stop doing that. In Nigeria, we are treated with so much respect and regard. I can tell you that all the Kenyans that I know that are living in Nigeria, none of them has ever complained, or we've heard that they've complained that they are being treated badly. We've always, anywhere I go, in fact, I have been treated better than, honestly, more Nigerians, They regard us, they look up to us. They're curious about Kenya. How is Kenya? Wow, you people. They're always saying, can we borrow your president? Can we do this more? How I want to marry a Kenyan woman. Wow, are the Kenyan, that kind of thing. Nigerians regard Kenyans so highly. Why do Kenyans want to go the South African way? This is xenophobia, however you want to look at it. You are busy fighting South Africans just a short while ago. Why do you want to be the ones, really? This is so wrong, because there needs to be more African cooperation. We need to be able to live together, do business together. We need to stop this. Yes, I know things are hard and there's frustrations, but honestly, we cannot kill each other like that. Even from a human standpoint, forget that I'm a Niger wife or whatever. This is just human to human. We need to do things differently. Nigerians, do right. Go into the country, stay on the right side of things. If something is done to you that is not right, report to the right channels. If they don't do anything, make sure you have an OB at the very least. Say, on this day I reported, I was ignored. On this other day I reported, I was wrong. We need to change this mentality. All Nigerians are bad. We need to change it. It's not correct. If you encounter a bad one doing illegal stuff, please do your civic duty and report the person. Escalate the issue. If you can't do it, speak to your neighbors. Do something. Have a policy. Say, we don't want this kind of Nigerians or other nationals living in our apartment because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. Show just cause. But don't have blood in your hands. And I'll say, whoever kills and whoever watches and says nothing, you're all the same. You're all the same. It's not correct. Be human, be correct. If you're a Christian, you cannot look the other way, when wrong is being done to your brother or sister. Please change. Please change, Please change. This is not good. It's not correct. And as for the authorities, please do better. Do better. When you do your crackdowns, do them properly. Also, look out for those who are impersonating police officers. That's a very serious criminal offense. They are going in the name of police to commit all this. They have the guns, maybe they have identification, they have all that. do a crackdown on these people who are, committing all these crimes of humanity against Nigerians. These are crimes against humanity, If you don't want Nigerians in Kenya anymore, let the law be passed and say we don't want Nigerians, and let it be known that Nigerians cannot freely live, work, or do their business in Kenya, so that we also know that we cannot come back home with our families, whether for the holidays or to live back there. And just know that you'd be missing out on so much good, because as for me, I married a global leader who would do so much good and who has done so much good for Kenya already in terms of business and opportunities and the innovations he's brought to Kenya, would be losing out on so much. So we need to stop this. Kenyans, first and foremost, this mentality that Nigerians are bad, I don't know, they're cultists, they're scammers, they're thieves, they're whatnot, needs to stop. Yes, I'm not saying they are all good, but if you see a bad one, do the right thing, report them. In fact, even do a citizen's arrest. If you can do that. If 5 of you who live in an apartment block come together and say, these people are doing bad business, and you call a proper cop, not these ones that are impersonating, arrest the person. Let the person be deported back to Nigeria. Let's not also keep criminals amongst our midst, if they're criminals at all. But on the other side, don't accuse somebody just because of their nationality. There are many great people out there. There are people who are just looking to survive elsewhere. As Kenyans are now moving abroad and wanting to move out of the country, Nigerians have found that they look to Kenya as, a great place to be in Africa and within Africa. They have come and they've fallen in love with your sisters. I know people don't like that, but that's what it is. It's not a criminal offense for anyone to fall in love with whoever they fall in love with. They have children. What happens to the Kenyan-Nigerian children, especially if they are male? What happens? Please. Even Professor Magoha married a Nigerian wife, and you go to meet her and you see she's great. Look at her sons. Look at the Magoha children. So please, let's just stop with this. It's not very nice. It really saddens my heart and it really breaks my heart. We need to do better. Really, we need to do better. Like I said, if you watch a murderer doing his thing and you let him, you are the same. Your hands are stained, Usisimame maovu ya kitawala. Don't be that person that sees bad things happening. This is something you can change. You may not be able to change what the president does, but you can change what happens, where you live and where you work. You can change that. Please do. Please do, Don't go on Twitter and be bashing the government all the time. Change your neighborhood, But first, start by doing the right thing, by transforming your mind and just changing your mindset about some things and being very objective about things. So thank you so very much. Please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. Bye-bye.